All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to my channel. Welcome to another video, and still keeping with the momentum of the previous videos, going to be talking about step 6. So, in step 1, we realize that there's an obstacle in our path, usually having to do with ourself. In step 2, came to believe that some power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity and our right mind and our ability to overcome that obstacle. Step 3, made a decision to turn our will over to the care of whatever higher power that is. Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves to really get a grasp of our business and what it is that we're bringing to the table. You know, what might be getting in our way, what definitely is getting in our way. In step 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs, our defects, where we've gone incorrect in our moral living. So step 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, the principle of which is willingness. So, being as we went in step 5 and we admitted the nature of our wrongs to ourselves, to another human being, and to our creator, to our higher power, whatever that is, whatever we conceive it to be, now it comes down to we have to be ready to let those things go. They could be negative emotional attachments, attachment to the desires of our outcomes, for example. It could be that we are being dishonest in order to try and lead ourselves to a state of comfort. Whatever the case may be, we're willing to let that go in this step, or we're becoming willing to let that go and have God take it away. So this is a necessary step, because if you're not willing to let it go, you're just going to hold on to it, then the process that you went through previously, it's completely pointless. Right? So let's liken it to the business model, like we brought up in step 4. Again, if you haven't seen my step 4 video, please go and watch it. But I digress. In that model, the business model, it says a business which takes no regular inventory usually goes broke. If you don't have an accurate assessment of your assets and your liabilities, your character assets and your character defects, those things which are seen as positive about yourself and negative about yourself. If you don't have an accurate assessment of those things, there's nothing you can do to change any of it. So, if you don't know what those are, you need to understand and know what those are. And at the same time, once you've established where it is that you're at, like say if you're a grocery store and you do an inventory and you've got so much expired food that you're not able to sell, right? You're not able to put that out there, right? You've got food rotting away. You have to be willing to throw it out. You have to be willing to get rid of it, right? You have to, otherwise you're not going to make any money. You're losing money on storage, right? Keeping that stuff storage. Think of it in terms of a computer. If you have too much information stored in your hard drive, stored in your memory banks, and you're not willing to let those things go, then you have no room for new information. And at the same time, if some of that information is harmful, it's going to be harmful still. It's never going to stop being harmful just because you looked at it and recognized that it's there. You have to be willing to let it go and remove it. So, principle of step 6, willingness. So, in this step, we're trying to let go of those liabilities, right? Let go of those things which are blocking us from seeing correctly, seeing with clarity. You know, whether it is our fear, whether it is our selfishness, whether it is our dishonesty, whether it is us being inconsiderate, no matter the case, the point of this step is to learn to let it go, right? Now, within that aspect of Hinduism, the chakra energy, you usually have a guide when you're dealing with this. As you go through each one of these chakras or energy centers, you're having someone guiding you there, guiding you through this because they've been through it and they know how to do it safely and effectively, right? So as you go through each individual one, you're not just looking at what those fears are, right? You're not just looking at the fears and the shame and the guilt and the grief and the lies and the illusions and the egoic earthly attachments. You're not just looking at them. You're letting them go. You're giving them to the flow of energy. And in so doing, it frees up all that space and all that clutter for the pools of energy to properly move and flow. For that energy to properly move to where it needs to, because that energy is what's going to heal you and bring you back into clarity and right thinking. So that's the importance of step 6, because step 6 ultimately leads to step 7, where you actually ask God, your higher power, whatever it is, to remove those defects of character. Because if you don't remove them, or you don't work on them, they're just going to stay there. You know, this is a processing stage. So we're trying to separate the wheats from the tares here. Okay? Trying to separate the wheats from the tares and throw the tares into the fire, essentially get rid of them, so that way we can yield a true harvest of our character assets and work on those, right? Actually develop an increase in those character assets. You know, the honesty, the integrity, the courage, you know, these are the things that we're looking at and we're trying to grow and cultivate in abundance. And in so doing, by letting go of the tares, getting rid of the tares, processing them out, you know, recognizing that there's tares to begin with. In so doing, we allow for more space to grow more things. Whether it's more wheat or apples or oranges, you know, speaking in parables here. But you catch my drift, hopefully. So, again, if you haven't seen the step 4 video, I know it's a long one. I get it. But it's a necessary one. It is crucial, right? If you would rather not take that step, then just, disregard the rest of this series, and that's fine. You know, I'm not going to I can't force anybody to watch it. So, I'll get back to my normal sort of content here soon, but just know that I will be kind of touching on these steps here and there as I go throughout other scriptures, as I go throughout other philosophies, ideologies, so on and so forth. So, anyways, hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you guys Hope you guys live in abundant clarity and find your way to unity.